An altercation led to gunfire downtown, that according to Roanoke police. It all happened just a little after 5 o'clock in the evening. Police receive a call about a man refusing to leave a restaurant on the 2100 block of Crystal Spring Southwest and arguing with another man. The caller reported that both men exited the restaurant, fought over a gun, which eventually discharged during their struggle. From the Virginia Talk Radio Network, I'm Bill Trefera.
Good morning.
Time to get ready for your day with the morning warm-up with Trey Lyle. Join us live on VTRN Sports 93.3 FM or the VTRN Sports app. Open VTRN Sports on your smart speaker or stream live on YouTube. Time to get ready for your day with the morning warm-up with Trey Lyle and Ty Tracy.
7:03 on this Monday, August 25th. We've made it, folks. It's game week for all the area teams. Here. We're here. Liberty's got a game this week. Virginia's got a game this week. And obviously, Virginia Tech has a game this week, which you can catch right here on VTRN Sports, or you can get your tickets to the Athletic Kickoff game, who's sponsoring us here at VTRN Sports. So shout out to them. And you know what? You can do best of both worlds. You get the VTRN Sports app, and you can listen to the game while you're at the game. You know, some people like to do that. And so as long as you have the VTRN Sports app.
I've never met anyone that does that.
Okay. Luke, you're 19 years old, right? Yeah. Same age as the guy we're going to talk about in a second. Old people like to do that.
Got it.
Older people like to do that. Or like me.
Do you do that?
Well, they like to listen to the game.
Okay, yeah.
And also, depending on where you're sitting, if you're like on the other side, you can't really see what's going on. Right. You can listen to it. So, yeah, it's a big NASCAR
Sometimes
thing.
With some of these like
NASCAR
events, it's so much better to watch online. Like golfing sucks to watch in person.
Yeah, I still want to go to the Masters one time, which we'll get to everything we missed. Speaking golf will be one of those topics because we'll talk about that in a second. But anyway, like NASCAR, a lot of NASCAR events, you wear the electronics, so you can either. The way you would do it is you'll listen to MRN or you'll listen to your driver's radio feed, whatever driver you want radio feed, which you can do.
I actually have done that. I have done that.
So then why are you questioning what we're talking about?
Like NFL games, like who's doing that?
People will do that. People listen to, Bill Roth at the game. They'll put it in their ear. Like they'll have it on their phone or a little radio, just how they operate. I think they do it. They do it with Alan Yorick at Flames games.
It also makes sense to like know. I guess I'm not still doing it. You know.
Well, it's also like a good way to pick up like if there's an injury, you're not gonna know like what's the update because you're at the stadium. So it's a good way because the internet's not ideal. So like you can then listen to the broadcast and So, by the way, we also work for a radio station.
Right.
So we should promote the fact that people should listen to radio. He's an intern, folks. So we're teaching him. Just saying. So radio good. Listen to radio.
Good, yeah.
Even on the VTRN Sports app. It's okay. You're an intern. We'll let it slide for today. All right, let's get to everything you missed this weekend.
Keeping up with sports 24/7 takes some serious effort, especially when you're sleeping. Don't worry, the morning warm-up stays alert around the clock. Now here is everything you missed last night.
All right, so plenty of stuff you missed. We have college football to talk about. We have NFL football to talk about. We'll give some baseball scores out, as well as golf and NASCAR. Luke, as the intern, I'll let you pick. What do you want to talk about first?
Golf, because I watched like 5 hours yesterday.
Oh, you did. So you fear we'll maybe not the biggest headline, but we'll start with this. I let him have dealer's choice. Fear the Flow. Tommy Fleetwood is the tour champion. He won the FedEx Cup, which is their playoff system, which is very NASCAR-esque because clearly the best player this year was Scotty Scheffler. He won 5 times on the tour. He was the most dominant player. But ultimately, Tommy Fleetwood gets his first ever win on the PGA Tour. He wins the Tour Championship and is the FedEx Cup champion, bring home $10 million. The guy who always collapsed late finally got it done.
First PGA Tour win ever.
Yep. So, as always, as I like to say with Tommy Fleetwood, fear the flow. The next big golf event, obviously, is the Ryder Cup coming up in a few weeks. Anyway, all right, so that was the golf update. Let's get to the NASCAR stuff here. A lot of headlines from this weekend before I get to the race. First, Colleague Racing was announced as they will field the anchor, the factory team for Dodge, have the Dodge Ram in the Craftsman Truck Series beginning in 2026. A couple notes about this. Dodge is self-funding this effort. They're funding it themselves. So we'll see how that shakes out. If you look at the original, the first paint scheme, it looked really nice. You can check that out. I retweeted it at Trey Lyle VT. John Dewey got that done for us, friend of the show. They're going to still field Chevrolets and Xfinity and Cup. You would assume they get their truck from actually, ironically, Spire Motorsports. It could be a trade done. Like Aspire wants to go Xfinity racing, cut down their truck racing. But they're going to run Ram in the truck series. Obviously, it gives a pathway to Ram to get to the Cup series because then they don't have to acquire charters at this point. Colleague Racing has 2 charters, but they're going to stay Chevy in Xfinity and Cup. This has been done before. I think, ironically, last time Dodge was in NASCAR, I think Penske did this. When Toyota first joined NASCAR, Gibbs did this as Toyota was only in the Cup Series, and I believe Gibbs stayed Chevy in the Xfinity Series, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So this is kind of unique for Colleague Racing. There'll be multiple OEMs. If you want to think about drivers, the one driver that comes to mind is Daniel Dye. And why do I bring that up? They announced this at the Daytona Dodge dealership. And if you just Google who the owner is, it's Daniel Dye's father. Obviously, Daniel Dye currently driving for them in the Xfinity Series. If they want to cut down to maybe like 2 cars in the Xfinity Series compared to 3, and they want to run up to 5 trucks in the Truck Series, Daniel Dye makes sense as someone who's experienced also in the Truck Series and could go back down there as well. Other notes in the least shocking announcement, Connor Zilisch officially is going Cup racing after technically getting the win Friday night in Daytona, but it wasn't him behind the wheel at the end. It was Parker Kligerman in a very fun race. Connor, who obviously broke his collarbone at Watkins Glen, as we had to show Luke the video have we shown you the video? We have not shown Luke the video yet. I've shown Ty the video. Basically, Luke, what happened to Connor Zilisch is when he was celebrating, he was trying to climb back out. He climbed out of his car, and then he came back and he tripped, and he literally fell and knocked himself out, but broke his collarbone. So he only raced a couple laps at Daytona. Then first caution, they swapped. Parker Kligerman came in, ironically, who is the broadcaster for the Xfinity Series. So he had an off night. He was supposed to be on vacation, but Dale Jr. called him, and he goes on to win at Daytona. So Parker Kligerman has won twice at Daytona this year, and neither have count. He won the truck race at the beginning of the year in Daytona, but was DQ'd because Henderson Motorsports, which is a local team right outside Bristol, basically had like 3 people doing the inspection, and they didn't know what they were doing, so they did something wrong, got disqualified. Then this past week, in the record book, it didn't say Connor Zilisch had won, and ultimately Parker was the one who finished there. So give Parker a lot of credit. It's the first time since 2007 that it's done. Just to put in perspective, both Connor Zilisch and Luke were 1 year old when that happened, and that was at Milwaukee, where Denny Hamlin had to get Eric Almirola technically won his first career race, but wasn't the one to finish the race as Denny Hamlin filled in for him, or Denny Hamlin replaced him because Denny was running late. So Eric started the race and Denny finished the race, and Denny ultimately won the race. But speaking of Connor Zilisch, he is officially going Cup Series racing next season with Trackhouse. Couple notes about this. The number was not announced as of yet. If you were watching the watch party with us, we recklessly speculated the number. We thought that SVG could go to his 97. Zilisch could take the 88. Maybe he gets it appears he's just not getting the 99. So I don't know if the 99 is ending. but they didn't announce a number yet. Maybe he will have the 87, which was the number he's been running in the Cup Series for his races. So we'll find out what Zilich runs there as well. And by the way, the 97 for SVG is his number. Like, that's his number that he had in supercars in the Xfinity Series. He actually did some legend car racing this summer for the summer shootout in Charlotte, and he was in the 97. So makes sense he would go to the 97 as well. But Connor Zilich, not shocking, going to be the third driver in 2026. As soon as Daniel Suarez announced he was mutually parting ways, it felt like Zilich, the 19-year-old, who is the best prospect in NASCAR at this point, is heading to the Cup Series. Red Bull and WeatherTech will be the anchor sponsors there as well. And again, this kid's a stud. He has exceeded every expectation you possibly could ask for in the Xfinity Series. He has 7 wins, including the one this past weekend at Daytona. And it's definitely very impressive for what he's done. And he's well deserving of the chance to go to the Cup Series next year. I think he's got a shot to win, especially at road courses. Him versus SVG based off the Xfinity races is going to be epic at road courses. So it's definitely fun to watch out. Other news and notes from this weekend before we get to the actual race. NASCAR 25, the video game, which comes out in a few weeks in October. They debuted their cover, and it features the Liberty University driver William Byron, not using the Liberty scheme, using the Exalta scheme. Christopher Bell and Ryan Blaney make the cover of the NASCAR 25 game, which comes out in October. Now to the race at Daytona. Early on, first stage. Basically, first 2 cautions involved the 2 guys who were needed on points. One, Tyler Reddick sustains light damage to the nose. He was able to continue, but ultimately, the second one was the big one in the first stage. Took out Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Bubba Wallace, amongst others, including the man who probably was the most nervous the entire time, the guy who's going to be the last one in on points, Alex Bowman. And Bowman gets taken out. He's not able to return, so he had to watch the entire race live. And boy, oh boy, was it a nervous one. I think with 2 to go, it was all drivers that could need a win. But ultimately, Ryan Blaney gets it done in a 4-wide finish where, if you look at the finish, so Ryan Blaney wins. Second is Daniel Suarez, then Justin Haley, then Cole Custer, then Eric Jones, then Chris Buescher, and then Kyle Larson. So only 2 of those would have been a way for Alex Bowman to keep his playoff hopes alive. Of course, Ryan Blaney is one of them. He gets it done, and he gets the win at Daytona in a really good race. It was, I didn't have high hopes for this race being good, other than the mayhem of the fact that this is the last one before the playoffs. But the fuel saving thing, because the way the cautions fell and the way the first stage was, it was short, that you got some actual racing in there. And it was a really good race at Daytona with Ryan Blaney getting it done, who went from 13th in the final 2 laps. Him and Cole Custer basically pushed themselves to the front from 13th in the final 2 laps. Custer actually led the white flag lap, but went to past Justin Haley. Haley threw a bad block and kind of ruined their momentum. Blaney stayed in his line, was able to clear him, and ultimately win the race at Daytona. More quick racing news that broke right before we went on the air. Nathan Brown is reporting that Red Bull Racing expressed interest in placing Alex Palou, who, by the way, finished second. And if a late caution doesn't happen or Christian Rasmussen doesn't put on fresh tires, probably wins his, I think it would have been his 10th race this season at Milwaukee, putting him in the F1 car. Just keep that in mind if you're an IndyCar fan. But that's all the news and notes from NASCAR. Moving to college football now. Not shocking before we get to the scores from this past weekend. Bryce Underwood named the starter at Michigan. Obviously, the number 1 high school player coming out. There's been comparisons to Cam Newton. That's Bryce Underwood's comparison. Pretty good one. And not shocking. He's a freak of freak athletes. And so Bryce Underwood, the next starter at Michigan. They obviously have a week 2 matchup in Norman at Oklahoma, which will be a tough test for him. Scores from this weekend in college football. Starting with the game you could have heard right here on VTR and Sports. Iowa State 24, Kansas State 21 in a fun Big 12 game. And it was a really good one. It cooked in the fourth quarter. It was low scoring until the fourth quarter. It was a very sloppy game because of the weather conditions. But ultimately Iowa State got it done 24-21. Then the other game you could have heard on VTR and Sports was Kansas re-debuting their stadium, first time in a year. That obviously they didn't play in their stadium last year. If you didn't know, they played at the soccer stadium in Kansas City or at Arrowhead. And they come back home and they win 31-7 over Fresno State in Conference USA. I think this was probably the most important game in terms of Liberty. Western Kentucky 41, Sam Houston 24, and boy, oh boy, did Western Kentucky look really good. By the way, one of my favorite names now, Ty, Maverick McCleaver, McIvor, I think is his name, McIvor, McIvor. Maverick is his first name, though. I think that's like a top-tier quarterback name. Top tier. Maverick is a top-tier quarterback name.
That boy stuff for having a name.
I mean, that's a top-tier quarterback name. And by the way, when you throw for 401 yards and 3 touchdowns, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So Western Kentucky looked really good. Matthew Henry for Western Kentucky had 7 receptions for 148 yards and a touchdown. So I think Western looked really good, and I know this is an overreaction because it's week 1, but I think if you're looking at biggest challenger to Liberty, it might be Western Kentucky. The good news for Liberty, they don't play each other in the regular season, which is so this would be a potential. The only time they'd play each other would be in the conference championship game.
If I'm not mistaken, did he come from Texas Tech? The quarterback?
Maverick, I can look it up. So,
or he came from like a recent school, I think, like somewhere in Texas.
No, yeah, Aberdeen Christian. So again, Maverick, great name. Great name. Other scores: UNLV 38, Idaho State 31. Former Virginia quarterback Anthony Calandria 15-21 for 195 yards and a touchdown. He clearly is the starting quarterback for them over Alex Orji. Orji was mainly used as a runner for this game. Dan Mullen wins in his debut for UNLV. And then a fun game out in the islands of Hawaii. Hawaii wins on a last-second field goal, 23-20. A big part of this game is that trying to change this game for Hawaii is they're on a blown-up trick play. Stanford got a sack, and then the Stanford defensive end decided to aura farm, which, if you don't know, is like the day as if you're watching on our YouTube stream, is when like it's a dance where you whatever. I can't really do it, but
Spot on.
thank you. So he started to aura farm and he got a flag, and then that led to a Hawaii touchdown. Then Hawaii hit a game-winning kick. By the way, shout to Micah Angelo, 27-39, 210, and 2 touchdowns. By the way, I have now fixed my starting quarterback of my Hawaii Dynasty League. I was starting their backup quarterback, and I still was I'm still the highest ranked team in the group. So about to head to the college football playoff when I win the Mountain West championship. Just throwing that out there, Tyrone. Ty did just win. Shout to Ty, by the way. He did win his conference, so I have to win my conference championship game, which I'm probably going to play tonight against someone else in our group. If you didn't know, in case you've missed it, which is also this segment, Ty, Bryson Gordon, Brian Nolan, my friend Darius, and myself have started an EA College Football 26 Dynasty mode. We're all a group of 5 teams as of right now. I'm about to bolt for a better job because, man, this offense is frustrating sometimes. But the coolest moment of this game, and I'm going to butcher this name, Kanze Matsuyama. He's a transfer kicker for Hawaii, and he was at a junior college in Ohio, transfers to Hawaii. He's from Japan, and the reason why he kicks is he taught himself how to kick on YouTube during the pandemic. and then went to a junior college in Ohio, and then transferred to Hawaii. Was 3 for 3, hit with the longest of 40, and hit the game-winning kick as Hawaii defeated Stanford 23-20. And I will just say this: I'm willing to go on a limb. Stanford might be the worst team in the Power 4, and they look really bad. They might need to change their quarterback already. Gil Branson did not look great, and it just, yeah, it was a rough watch. As someone who watched it while watching the race and doing a watch party, it was rough watching the Stanford offense. Just want to point that out. All right, baseball scores from yesterday quickly. Jazz Chisholm hits 2 home runs, gets to his 100th career home run as the Yankees avoid the sweep, defeating the Red Sox 7-2. Rockies fall to Paul Skeens and the Pirates 4-0. Rockies are 37-94, 6 losses away, Ty. Rays defeat the Cardinals 7-2. Orioles over the Astros 3-2. Braves over the Mets 4-3. Phillies over the Nationals 3-2. Royals over the Tigers 10-8. And the Marlins over the Blue Jays 5-3. White Sox over the Twins 8-0. Giants over the Brewers 4-3. Rangers over the Guardians 5-0. Cubs over the Angels 4-3. Reds defeat the Diamondbacks 6-1. Padres fall to the Dodgers 8-2. And the Mariners defeat the Athletics 11-4. Cal Raleigh homers twice in that game and sets the record for most home runs by a catcher in a season with 50. So shout out to Cal Raleigh, who is making a really good case for AL MVP versus Aaron Judge. So that's gonna be a fun race down the stretch.
He's gonna have to hit like 60 to beat Aaron Judge, I think.
Yeah, but I think the fact that Judge missed 2 weeks is it kind of opened it up for him. So now to the NFL. Lots of trades happened, obviously, with cut downs happening. First, I will give my guy Ty credit. He called this. Commanders are trading Brian Robinson to the 49ers for an exchange of a 6th-round pick, sources told ESPN. This happened on Friday. Obviously, Brian Robinson, ironically, wanted probably more of a starting role or a confirmed role. Now becomes basically, I would assume, the backup in San Francisco, and like with the injury history of Christian McCaffrey, probably feels like he'll get some playing time this year and enters a system where if he does play, he's probably going to contribute pretty well.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like he fits better in the offense because you got to think about Kyle Shanahan has more of a run first offense than pass compared to
Kingsbury.
Yeah, Kingsbury's offense and everything because they're more like a play style.
They're an RPO.
Yeah, so that's why I feel like Kyle Shanahan's offense will fit better with Brian Robinson.
Yeah, and I mean, if McCaffrey stays healthy, I don't know how much Brian Robinson's going to play, but he's been healthy like 2 of the last 4 years. So there's a real chance that he'll have to play probably somewhat because I don't think they're going to run McCaffrey as much.
Yeah, but McCaffrey's more of a utility back, so he's going to be everywhere on the field.
Yeah, I mean, if McCaffrey plays, he's going to play like 85% of the snaps. But if McCaffrey gets hurt, then Brian Robinson will play like 85% of the snaps. Like if you're Brian Robinson, you're like, all right, I can come here, I'll be the backup, and then if he gets hurt, I'll have a good chance to sign. Howie Roseman decided on Sunday to wake up and feel dangerous. He decided just let's boom, 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 fire off as many trades as possible. Vikings traded Sam Howell to the Eagles. That was the first one. It was a 5th in 2026 and a 7th in 2027 in Minnesota, while Philadelphia gets Howell and a 6th in 2026. Philadelphia needed quarterback depth. Obviously, they released DTR, which you should. Kyle McCord was there, and then Tanner McKee, who will be their quarterback too, broke his finger in a preseason game. So they need someone. Like, I think if you're Philadelphia, your hope is if Jalen Hurts got hurt week 1, you're not rolling out Kyle McCord. So it makes sense. So Sam Howell probably will be the third quarterback for the Vikings or for the Eagles, excuse me, and the backup until McKee gets back. Vikings then get excited about this, Ty. Carson Wentz as their backup quarterback. So get excited about that. Carson Wentz now to the Vikings. And then the Eagles decide that they're going to keep making trades, and Go
Is
ahead.
Donald still in Minnesota as well? So they
No,
have,
Darnold's in Seattle. He's going to be the
right.
starting quarterback in Seattle. J.J. McCarthy's going to start for the Vikings. So the Eagles, as mentioned, the Eagles waived DTR, which not shocking. It's DTR. He's not. I don't think he's an NFL quarterback. But then the Eagles Eagles get Fred Johnson from the Jaguars. Fred Johnson, who's actually played and contributed for Philadelphia these past couple of years. He's been with the team from 2022 to 2024 in exchange for a seventh round pick. And then they obviously traded a tackle, which, by the way, they traded Darian Kennard to the Packers for a seventh round pick. Darian Kennard could become a four-time Super Bowl champion in a row, because he was with the Chiefs when they went back-to-back. They went to Philadelphia, won a Super Bowl last year. And if the Packers win this year, he'll four-peat. So, pretty interesting note. And now to the scores from the preseason. Wrapped it up starting Friday. Eagles defeat the Jets 19-14. Cowboys defeat the Falcons 31-13. Vikings fall to the Titans 23-13. Bears defeat the Chiefs 29-27. The Ravens just beat down the Commanders 30-3. Not many of the Commanders starters played, I will note. Same thing for the Ravens. Colts beat the Bengals 41-14. Rams fall to the Browns 19-17. Texans defeat the Lions 26-7. Broncos defeat the Saints 28-19. And actually, like, one of the only times that actual starters played, Bo Nix actually played in that game. Packers defeat the Seahawks 20-7. Dolphins defeat the Jaguars 14-6. Bills over the Bucks 23-19. 49ers over the Chargers 30-23. And the Cardinals defeated the Raiders 20-10. So those were the preseason games. So we'll dive into the Commanders preseason game in moments later on the show. But they have not looked great this preseason, which, again, you take it with a grain of salt. But there are concerns when it comes to that. But again, those were your scores from preseason. All right, Luke, you're about to get in the hot seat again with Today in Sports History. But first, we're going to take a time out next. But coming up, Today in Sports History next on the Morning Warm-Up.
Don't miss the final days of our big summer sales event at Magic City Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Get a new 2025 Ram 1500 and save up to $10,000 off MSRP. Choose a new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee and get retail bonus cash up to $3,500 off MSRP. Hurry in for huge final days discounts on over 230 pre-owned vehicles. It's almost over. Get to our big summer sales event at Magic City Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Bedford, 1750 Independence Boulevard, MagicCityBedford.com.
Are your windows difficult to open and close? Are you air conditioning the outdoors with gaps around your old, worn-out windows? It's time to call Collins Siding and Windows. Let their experienced craftsmen transform your home's appearance with beautiful new windows while also saving you money on energy costs. Since 1989, Collins Siding and Window has been transforming homes in the Lynchburg area. Call Collins Siding and Window today for all of your exterior home projects. Call today, 434-525-6307.
Hey, small to medium business owners, if you're frustrated with slow IT support, high costs, or paying for services you just don't use, it's time for a change. Hi, I'm Colt with We Fix Stupid Computers. We provide reliable on-site and remote support tailored for businesses just like yours. And we go beyond just fixing problems. We empower your staff with real technology so they can work smarter every day. From repairs to training to full IT support, we save you time, stress, and money. Call We Fix Stupid Computers, 434-525-8590, where smart support meets real savings.
Hokie fans, are you still getting your Hokie sports news from someplace like ESPN.com or even worse, the newspaper? You're missing out. Tech Sideline has assembled the largest and most talented team to ever cover Virginia Tech athletics. If you want Hokie sports coverage that is second to none and will make you the smartest fan at the tailgate, subscribe to TechSideline.com for just $12 a month or $120 a year. Tech Sideline, all Hokie, all the time, period. Visit TechSideline.com and subscribe today.
Good morning. We are just getting your day started here on VTRN Sports with the Morning Warm-Up. Stay connected with the show at Trey Lyle VT and Ty Tracy 90 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Listen wherever you are with the VTRN Sports app or watch the show live on YouTube at youtube.com/VTRN Sports Lynchburg. Now, back to the morning warm-up.
$7:32 on this Monday, August 25th. Welcome to the morning warm-up. Listening live on VTRN Sports on the radio, which is a great thing, right, Luke?
Right.
Good job. We're learning here. Shout out to Wu-Tang, by the way. Nice shirt tie. If you are watching a little bit on our stream at youtube.com/VTRN Sports Lynchburg, you can see Ty's Wu-Tang shirt, and that's why I shouted out Wu-Tang. But as always, it's time for Today in Sports History. Can the intern, who was not alive for any of this that we're going to talk about, Nick, see if he knows it.
Tyrod waiting. Tyrod scrambling. Back at the 20. Fires. End zone. It is caught for the touchdown by Roberts. It's a miracle in Blacksburg. Tyrod did it, Mikey. Tyrod did it.
It's time for Today in Sports History.
Play action. Salter to throw back to the left. And it's caught in the end zone. Light him up. Touchdown, Liberty. Bentley Hanshaw. From ruin to redemption, the Virginia Cavaliers are the 2019 NCAA National Champions.
Let's hear what Ty really knows about what happened on this day in sports history.
All right, Luke. So what Friday, you remember, we did Friday, Saturday.
Right.
So it's obvious on Mondays.
Sunday,
Monday. There we go. So August 24th, on August 24th in 1963, this event was covered for the first time by ABC's Wide World of Sports. Hint, it ended yesterday. Chinese Taipei got it done and won it.
Just gave it away. But Little League World Series.
That is correct. All right, I gave you too good of a hint. But yes, that is correct. In 1989, this man was suspended from baseball for life. If I told you why, you would get it. So I'm not going to do that. Hint, he was reinstated recently. I'll add that.
Pete Rose.
Correct, and was for gambling. So
I was going to guess Pete Rose before you said reinstated recently. So.
All right. In 2006, after signing a one-day contract, this man officially retired from the NFL.
It could be like several people, I feel like. But I'll say Terrell Owens.
2006?
Wait.
2006. He was born in 2006. No, 2006. It's not T.O. T.O. was still playing foot.
Yeah.
Terrell Owens.
What did he retire in 2012?
Later than you think. He was, by the way, T.O. So you're saying T.O. with that logic, T.O. just coming off a Super Bowl a year before in 2005 would have retired.
Bad guess.
I will let you have one more guess. I will say this.
I just thought it was Jerry Rice.
There you go. It was Jerry Rice.
I got that one wrong.
I was gonna give you a hint and say he played with Terrell Owens, and he see if I told you the team, if I said the 49ers, you would have guessed Jerry Rice.
But that is late. I did not know.
Yeah, he played for like the Seahawks and the Raiders. He was, yeah. It's kind of insane. All right. In 2007, the NFL indefinitely suspends this man without pay, just hours after he acknowledged in court papers that he did indeed bankroll gambling on dogfighting and help kill some dogs not worth.
Michael Vick.
Yes, that's correct. Which, shout out to Michael Vick for actually fixing, like, obviously everything post that. Michael Vick has been a high character for society, and I love to bring that up for people who still don't like him. And you feel righted in that, and someone who owns a dog and loves his dog. But I think your actions speak louder words, and Michael Vick made a mistake and has served his time and corrected it, and has done more for animals since he got out of jail than he did than a lot of people in this country. So shout out to Michael Vick. But that is a good acknowledge of the former Virginia Tech quarterback there. So you're 3-1. All right. We're heading to August. Not bad. We're not done though. We're heading to August 25th. You could easily get it done. In 1968, this man becomes the first African American to win the U.S. singles championship. A Richmond native, has a stadium, or has the U.S. Open is named after him. Like the stadium. Correct.
I gave it away.
So
I'm actually going to the U.S. Open on.
Oh yeah, I should remember that, because then he just like his. Okay, I should remember that. You're doing pretty good here. In 1991, this man reclaimed his title as the world's fastest human by setting a world record of 9.86 seconds at the 100-meter final in the World Championships in Tokyo.
I don't know this one. Let's see. I have no idea. That's too early for Usain Bolt. He was until like 2004.
Correct.
I have no clue. If I heard the name. All right, tell me the name. Who is it?
It's Carl Lewis. So 4-2.
Something is named after him too. What's named after him?
I have no idea. So,
Awful.
in 1996, this man won an unprecedented third U.S. Amateur Championship, beating Steve Scott on the 38th hole after coming back from 5 down with 16 to play and 2 down with 3 to go.
Tiger Woods.
That's correct. There you go. 5-1, 5-2. Not bad. Makes you 10-5. It's pretty good. We're not gonna. No, we can't put Philip down as if you heard Ty said better than Philip. Which, shout out to Philip if you're listening. Well, you know what? We haven't got to the Hank Aaron questions yet. I will say this. Philip, unfortunately, he interned during the spring, and it was all baseball questions. Luke's going to get lucky, because I think if we got Philip all football questions, because he played football, he would have done better. But now we're going to give him football questions. So, like, I think Philip would have done better if he did the fall. The problem is, like, you have to be baseball fans. Like, are you a baseball fan, Luke?
I am, but not to like a degree that I would know. Like,
yeah. So, like, if we just started asking you like obscure baseball questions, like, for example, I won't count this. In 2020, Chicago White Sox pitcher threw a no-hitter against the Pirates.
And I wouldn't know that, but I guess Chris Sale.
No, he was not even on the White Sox in 2020.
Yeah,
it's Lucas Giotto.
Pirates get no hit over. Yeah, we suck.
So, you're a Pirates fan?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Hey, you got Paul Skeens. Shout out to Paul Skeens.
All we have.
And that they just called up your number one pitching prospect. And then
Bubba.
In 2011, this team became the first team in Major League history to hit 3 grand slams in a game.
Ooh, I might not. Is Houston Astros?
Wrong. It's the Yankees. Robin Cano, Russell Martin, and Curtis Granderson did it in a 22-9 romp over the Athletics. My point exactly. So,
there's so many games. 162. Like, who's gonna keep track of all that? You know, the computer. That's it. There are actually some crazy baseball like nerds out there.
Yeah, I'm friends with them.
Yeah.
So trust me, I know. I did a podcast with them. Anyway, when we come back, some more thoughts about the Commanders game. Disappointing preseason from them. What does it mean for their regular season? We'll talk about that and much more next in the morning warm up.
Savings are heating up, and so are the summer super deals at the Used Car Superstore on the Sheeler Motor Mile. You don't need super strength to get approved for credit. Sheeler owns the finance company. Getting approved for credit is super easy on the Motor Mile with financing options for every budget. Sheeler makes car buying easy with the hottest brands all in one location. Cars, trucks, vans, SUVs. Many have miles in the teens, remaining factory warranties, and some are even local one-owner vehicles. Over 900 used vehicles in stock now and ready to move. More than any other dealer in the area, plus exceptional service, selection, and savings. Need some summer spending cash? Sheeler will buy your vehicle even if you don't buy from us. Plus super money for your trade. Volume selling means volume pricing, and we've got the volume with over 900 used vehicles in stock now. No games, no gimmicks, just summer super deals at the Used Car Superstore on the Sheeler Motor Mile, your premier used car dealer, locally owned for over 50 years. I-81 exit 118C in Christiansburg. Call 866-SHEELER1. Always open at Sheeler.com.
Warm weather means traveling. Hi, I'm Randy Trost from Trost Law with a couple of safety reminders. Always wear your seatbelt. Don't drive distracted or impaired. And remember, it's better to safely arrive a little later than being in an auto accident. Those things can make a big difference between a fun family trip or a painful alternative. At Trost Law, I hope you never need our services, but if you do, we're here to help you at 777-HURT or trostlaw.com.
Just like summer, the deals at InsaneRadioDeals.com are heating up. Check out these great deals on food. $50 gift cards to the Caribbean Jerk Pot. $50 gift card to the Yard on 5th Street. $25 gift card to Ballad Brewing. $25 gift card to Donnie D's Bagels and Deli. $50 gift card to Downtown Cairo. All these great food deals and much more at InsaneRadioDeals.com. Check these deals out right now before they run out.
Good morning. We are just getting your day started here on VTRN Sports with the morning warm-up. Stay connected with the show at Trey Lyle VT and Ty Tracy 90 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Listen wherever you are with the VTRN Sports app or watch the show live on YouTube at youtube.com/VTRN Sports Lynchburg. Now, back to the morning warm-up.
7:44 on this Monday, August 25th. Welcome to the morning warm-up. I'm Trey Lyle. That's our intern, Luke. Ty Tracy here as well. And let's get to it. All right, so Commanders fall in their preseason game 30-3. They go 0-3 in the preseason and essentially get blown out in all three games. 48-18, 31-17, and 30-3. I will mention how Jaden Daniels technically did not even throw a pass this preseason. He did play and obviously ran for a touchdown, and the offense looked fine. My concern, I'm gonna read three numbers, and this is something to keep in mind. 102 yards. That's number one. Just of note.
What, like, was that one game or what?
100. I'm get to it. Okay. 102 yards. Then 87, not as bad as I thought, but 206 passing. So I was basically reading their rushing yards, and I just did not like how it seemed to me that their rush defense did not look great in the preseason, based off of just watching it. By the way, against the Patriots, they gave up 101. Now they ran the ball well against the Bengals. Now I'm gonna go on a limb, Ty. I feel like a lot of teams are run really good against the Bengals this year. Now, you look at this Commanders team, and obviously, I want to give it. I'm giving them expectations that they want, which is championship level expectations. Now, they obviously went 0-3 in the preseason. Again, that doesn't. I do not care if you win or lose a preseason game. The Bears, the year the Browns went 0-16. I think I said this on either I said this on Friday or I was having a conversation with someone about this weekend. The year the Browns went 0-16, they went 4-0 in the preseason. So again, your preseason record does not dictate. By the way, the Ravens are the best bet in the preseason. They went 3-0 again. I think they've won like 28 of their last whatever. It's an insane amount what they've done in the preseason. But, again, Commanders are rolling out Sam Hartman and Josh Johnson. So I wasn't expecting much from the offense.
How old is Josh Johnson? He's got to be like close to 40.
I've met Josh Johnson.
Really?
Yes, he is 39. I met Josh Johnson when I had to be 18 for my 18th. I was 18, And this is when he was backing up Eli in the Giants. And I told him, I was like, how do you feel about the Giants this year? He's like, we're going to beat, and I, as an Eagles fan, I was like, this was at a Michael Robinson charity event in Richmond, the former Seahawks, the Seahawks running back. So, it's where I got to meet Steve Weiss from the NFL Network. I got to meet Michael Irvin, which I told Michael Irvin straight to his face. I said, I love you on TV, but I hate the teams you play for. He laughed at me. It was a great little moment. I met Richard Sherman that night too. He's a cool dude. Anyway, Josh Johnson talked smack too. He said, if I get in there, you better watch out. Literally, those were his words. He never got in for the Giants because they obviously had Eli Manning. Anyway, side note. I don't want to expect much from your offense. I will say this, Chris Rodriguez, after having a really good game against the Bengals, did not have the best game against the Ravens. 5 carries, 34 yards. I mean, by the way, this week we got to get the Bill music queued up. I'm just a Bill. Live it. Do you know what that is?
No.
Oh my God. Okay.
I've heard I'm just a Bill. I've heard that before.
Do you know? So you don't know what Schoolhouse Rock is?
I've heard of it, but no.
We're so old, Ty. We're so old. Anyway, Ty. So, Mr. I don't care about the preseason. I want to preface that I have a question for you. Where is your concern, considering they defensively is the key word? Because offensively, they played essentially one drive with Jaden Daniels, and they look good. My concern from this team, and you know, Lake told me last week, you know, if you missed it, check it out, to not be too concerned. But to say there are guys on this defense that will be playing will be playing this season. Like Colin Farrell will be playing. They're in backup roles, but they still will be playing. It seems it's screaming to me that this defense is going to take a regression this season.
I'm not too worried about it right now. Still, like the preseason, I'll say by week 6 or 7, that's when you start getting worried and everything. Because you got to think about people. I mean, I say people. They still learning, and of course, you will not go get like a full. You will get full effort, but you can see a lot of miscues, a lot of like a lot of miscommunication out there. So I was like, I'm not worried about it. Like I said, it's preseason. They had a whole month. Now it's gonna be game time. But like I said, give it to week 7, 6 or 7. That's when you start getting worried. Like, okay, now I'm really worried because they're not performing how they supposed to last season and everything.
The good news for them, again, they play the Giants to start the year. And so I do think the Giants will at least be competent this year, unlike last season, even though they have Mr. Unlimited at quarterback to start in Russell Wilson. I think they're going to be able to run the ball well, whether it's our guy Ty Tracy right here or Cam Scattaboo. And then I do think, though, I think they're going to have to start one. If I was guessing their record after week 2, it's 1-1 because you're going to go at Green Bay, and if their defenses look like this, I don't trust the secondary, and I it's hard for me to trust the secondary right now because you're going to roll out a rookie. You're going to roll out Marshawn Lattimore, who frankly was hurt and was on a different team. I don't think Ty, and I think you'll agree with this, Marshawn Lattimore never looked like what probably Washington was expecting when they signed him or traded for him last year. But the hopes were he would look like that this year. I mean, he's still going to have to play Malik Neighbors in week 1. That's a tough matchup. And then Green Bay has good depth at wide receiver. We'll see how Matthew Golden looks. And then I know Green Bay will be able to run the ball. Like,
because Marshawn Lattimore was hurt, and I could tell this was like not his year. So I think
he
has to perform this year. If not, it's going to be some.
And again, I'm not going to use the games he played against. Let me check notes. AJ Brown, when AJ Brown cooked him, as like the barometer for that. It's like we said when the Washington played, Cincinnati. I'm not going to use Trey Amos lining up against Jamar Chase as my barometer if Trey Amos is going to be a good corner or not. Like, again, every corner gets cooked by Jamar Chase. So, anyway, my concerns with this defense are, just listen to this. So, this is the projected starters. So, you have Dorrance Armstrong, 28. He's young. Daron Payne, 28. Juwan Kinlaw, 27, but really hasn't shown it yet in the NFL. or at least has not met the billing of the 13th overall pick. Then you have Dietrich Wise, who's 31, Luvu, who's 28, and then you got 35-year-old Bobby Wagner, 36-year-old Von Miller. Then obviously Amos is the young guy at 23. Will Harris is 29. Quan Martin is 25. Lattimore is 29. And then the obviously Mikey Sammerstill is 24. So you're dealing with guys who are older, a majority of that defense. And it's very concerning. It's very, very, very concerning because
plus you gotta think about it. You gotta get a lot of young players for Bobby Wagner and Von Miller because they can't play that much snaps, especially the age.
I mean, Bobby Wagner is a Hall of Fame player, and last season the fact he played all 17 games, was incredible.
But you still want to keep him fresh as well.
Which, by the way, he's actually it's kind of insane to think about. He's played all 17 games. Like, he's never missed a game, really, except for back in 2015. So, which is kind of insane to think about with Bobby
Especially
Wagner.
as like a linebacker who's always like busting people up.
So maybe Bobby Wagner's not the injury concern. It's Von Miller, which I don't think Von Miller's actually their starting edge rusher, because I just think they're going to use Von Miller in like third down situation. But the Commanders are in a weird spot, man, where that I feel like they exceeded expectations so much that do we treat them like the team that made it to the NFC Championship game, or should we treat them like a team like how we should treat a second-year team with a second-year quarterback? And I feel like the latter, because I think if you treat last season and think the Commanders are close, I think that's skipping some steps. Now, would that shock me they get back in the NFC Championship game? No, because again, luck could fall their way.
Yeah.
But to say, like, if I had to list Super Bowl contenders, the Commanders aren't making my top 6.
I'll say top 7 for me.
If I list teams in the NFC, I think more likely to win a Super Bowl, or at least I trust more to win a Super Bowl.
To make it to Super Bowl in the
to make
NFC,
it
right?
in the NFC. To make it in the NFC.
Okay.
It's obviously Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I'm putting the Rams second.
Okay.
I'm putting the Lions third. And I know they've changed coordinators, but it's just like they still have a really good roster and a really good head coach.
Yeah.
Fourth, I don't know if I'm all in on this team.
I'll say Tampa Bay or San Francisco.
Well, yeah.
Depends.
Like,
Depends on the scenario.
I would just because you look at the 49ers schedule, it's so easy where you're sitting there like, and it's still Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
And I'm not the biggest Kyle Shanahan guy, but I'd put the 49ers fourth.
Yeah.
I would agree with you. I'd put Tampa sixth. And then I'd think about what, because let's be real here. We're in a world where last season, if Baker Mayfield handles a handoff, the Commanders lose in week 1, like the first round of the playoffs, because that's what got Commanders that life to win that game. Like that bad handoff that Baker had. Like, we're in a real, like, I know, like, some people like to think in La La Land with the Commanders, but like, let's be real here. They won a game on a Hail Mary last year. So
that was absurd.
Yeah, I know. Trust me. As someone who has to defend Caleb Williams so much, it hurt my soul. But I don't know if they're going to I think, and I've said this all along, I would not be shocked because I think they made good improvements to the team. I think their most likely scenario is they are a better football team than they were last season with a worse record, because it's a harder schedule. And unless you have Patrick Mahomes, who is the elite, like the best quarterback in the NFL, you're not going to win, close games as often as they did. Now, if Jaden Daniels is that level of quarterback, then I'm going to be really wrong about this team, and they're going to be 12-5 and a Super Bowl contender. But I don't. We are literally sitting this time last year we were talking about Houston having a Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen type of guy and CJ Stroud, and he regressed last season. And I still believe in CJ Stroud. And you look at what happened to the Texans. They had massive injuries along the receiving core, and they had massive injuries along the offensive line. And bang, they still won their division, but they were a worse football team last year. Now, I'd rather be the Texans than the Commanders, because I think that Texans defense is one of, if not the best defense in the NFL, that features maybe the best corner in the NFL and one of the best edge duo in the NFL. But again, my concerns with these Commanders preseason games is you were not competitive in any of them. So it doesn't say to me, like, I'm not concerned about the starters. I'm concerned about the depth of this team. And ultimately, that's what's going to cost them, is that your depth could be a real issue as the season progresses. Because if your depth, because that's to me the only thing you can take away from the preseason is not how your starters are going to look, because they play 2 series, is what's your depth going to be like. And if you lose 48-18, 31-17, and 30-3, that raises some concerns about the depth of this Commanders team.
I mean, yeah, but like I said, they still trying to learn. You know, teams still fighting for a position, especially a roster spot. So that's why I'm not gonna get too chaotic or start worrying everything. It's just we still go be all calm and everything. They got a whole season, and they got, like I said, wait till week 7 or 6 or 7.
We'll see. I mean, like I said, I like the additions they've made. I will say the 2 on offense in Debo and Laramie Tunsil do have some injury concerns as time goes on. Luke, you got a final thought?
I just think preseason. I'm kind of like Ty. I kind of hate the preseason.
I hate it too, and I'm not like. I feel like I'm very being overreactionary to the preseason, but I'm trying to build like one takeaway from the preseason. If it like, I feel like that's your only takeaway from the preseason is like, the preseason will show me more about your depth of the team than anything else.
I just think you can't lose them all and you can't win them all. Both are red flag.
Fair point. All right, that'll do it for today. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll talk more about this with Lake Lewis, and we'll have some fun tomorrow on the morning warm up. Bye, everybody. Thanks so much for listening to the morning warm up on